It's Monday, October 14th, 2024, and we've got lots of weather to talk about today. We've got some big changes about to happen in the lower 48, and we have ourselves another tropical system to talk about here. This is likely going to be Tropical Storm Nadine here soon, maybe even Hurricane Nadine as it goes towards the Caribbean. Before we get too much into that, though, let's talk about an update from Hurricane Milton. We are now several days out from Hurricane Milton making landfall. It's no longer a storm out there anywhere. However, we're still reeling from the effects here in Florida and even down there in Mexico, where 3 people have unfortunately passed away and 7 remain missing. 27 in the United States were unfortunately lost as a result of Hurricane Milton. And y'all, there are still 400,000 households without power right now in Florida where this hurricane made landfall, and some of these people aren't going to get power again potentially for several days, maybe even more than a week, as the damage down here was quite significant. Of course, the Y'all Squad was on the ground immediately helping people out. We have served thousands of meals for free from our Y'all Hub. We have sent down truckloads of supplies and water and all that good stuff, and we're not done. We're currently in the process of looking for individuals to help on an even higher level. Thanks to you guys for giving us an unbelievable amount of resources to work with down here. We're also not done in North Carolina or Tennessee or any of the places hit really hard by Hurricane Helene. This is going to be an ongoing operation for quite some time. If you would like to continue to help us show up in the event of disasters like this, and also continue to help our ongoing efforts in North Carolina and Florida, then please consider making a monetary contribution over at theyallsquad.org. Now, here's what future Nadine looks like right now. Not very impressive. You can see the underlying swirl here. All of the thunderstorm activity is really just kind of going in one direction. It's not wrapping around that circulation at all. It's a little bit more organized than what we were looking at yesterday, but it's certainly not anywhere near the point where it might rapidly intensify or even moderately intensify over the next 24 hours or so. Here's the latest projected tracks for this thing from the GEFS. This is where our storm is right now, way back here over the main development region, and it's actually quite rare for storms during this time of year to traverse across the main development region and into the Caribbean. This is not something that we see very often. Normally, if we get a hurricane this time of year and it starts out over here, it almost always goes out to sea, and if we get something that impacts the Caribbean or maybe even the southeastern US, it almost always starts out down here. Those anomalously warm waters are allowing for storms to continue to fire up over here and also float way over here into the Caribbean. This will almost certainly be a problem for our folks in Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and places like that. But I know a lot of you watching right now are probably very curious as to what's going to happen after that. Is the storm going to go into the lower Caribbean? Is it going to go into the Gulf? Is it going to go up here into the Atlantic and potentially impact the United States? We don't know. We have no idea. This is all we know right now. There's a good chance that it's going to continue to go into the Caribbean, and I do think that there's also a good chance that it'll continue to strengthen slowly into a hurricane at least. I don't know if I see this thing becoming a major hurricane. However, we cannot rule that out, obviously. Let's take a look at this thing on the GFS model. Right here it is on Wednesday, October 16th. You can see that it's still not even that organized at this point. So we don't expect any sort of rapid intensification. We don't see any sort of explosive growth with this storm like we saw with Hurricane Beryl or Hurricane Milton. It's going to be a slow burn, but it is going to get more organized, especially once it gets closer to the Leeward Islands, Lesser Antilles here, Puerto Rico. We could be talking about a tropical storm or hurricane by the time it gets over here around Friday, October 18th. Also, look at this. I want everybody to pay attention to this. Right above my head there was another storm that was developing down here near Central America, and this is likely going to start popping up on more models soon, and we're going to see another development region from the National Hurricane Center. I really don't want anybody to freak out too much over this because I really don't think that this has a good chance of floating up into the Gulf like we've seen with some other storms. There's a very good chance that this is going to go over the Yucatan or just over Central America and be out of our hair very quickly. So right now, there's nothing to worry about here, but of course I'll keep you updated if that changes. This is going to continue to be our main focus as we go through the weekend, and notice that it does intensify on the GFS here. It goes over the Dominican Republic, and honestly, according to this one model run, it just kind of fizzles out from there, and that is a very real possibility. That is something that could definitely happen. However, we do have to continue to be aware of the reality here. The reason why all these hurricanes this year have been explosively blowing up up once they get into the Caribbean or once they get into the Gulf is because the waters are still anomalously warm out there. If there's no wind shear, if there's nothing fighting against Nadine by the time it gets over here, it likely will continue to strengthen and either continue to go west towards Central America or potentially even up into the concerning areas near the United States. But right now, if I'm a resident of Florida or, anywhere that could be potentially hit by this outside of those Caribbean islands, I'm not worried about this at all. This is something that we'll keep an eye on, and we've got a lot of time to be prepared for it if something changes. But right now, let's not get too worked up about it, okay? And let's hope that this run of the GFS is correct here, and we get a low-end tropical storm or hurricane making landfall somewhere here near the Dominican Republic with minimal effects, and it just kind of fades away. So what comes next? Okay, hurricane or not, we're about to see a major pattern shift here in the United States. Early this week, especially tonight into tomorrow, we are going to get downright cold in a lot of the eastern U.S. You think it's cold this morning? Wait till tomorrow morning. We're going to have some really chilly temperatures to deal with, and also some snow in the higher elevations, especially in the mountains of West Virginia and places like that. Also up there into the Adirondacks, I think that there's a good chance of some higher elevation snows as well. This cold air is going to settle with us for a little while, but there is going to be a transition as we go towards the end of the week where a little bit of a ridge is going to try to build up here. It's going to try to warm up a little bit, but this is really going to set the stage for our next weather system that's going to be interesting as we go into the weekend. We've got this cutoff low or this trough that's kind of, sitting over here in the southwestern U.S. and honestly a pretty good channel for warm air to rise up in the eastern part of the United States. And this is a very typical kind of situation that we find ourselves in fall where we have to start worrying about severe weather in the central U.S. again. So we've got cooler sinking air over here, warmer rising air over here. Anywhere in between that can be the starting zone or a battle zone between those air masses, and that's where we see some strong storms. So I do think that this weekend and early next week, we're going to have some opportunities to see some severe weather in the form of hail, wind, and tornadoes that we'll have to keep an eye on. But that trough or that low is not going to be very potent, and it's not going to last very long. It's going to get out of here quite quickly, and we're going to get back into this pattern where we see a ridge in the west, another trough in the east, and we do it all over again. This is fall, y'all. We're going to slowly get colder each time until eventually it feels like we're in winter and we're dealing with snow. And speaking of snow, with our first cold shot in the beginning of this week, we are going to deal with some snow in the Appalachian Mountains, but we're going to have some significant snow maybe up there in Canada. There's a couple places up here that could see well over 4 inches of snow. And then look over there into British Columbia. There's going to be several shots of very significant snow over there. Of course, we're going to see several shots of snow in the Rockies as far south as into Colorado and New Mexico. It's snow time, baby. It's almost time to start talking about them yallometers, and I'm a little late on it, but a winter forecast is due soon. I mean, look at this map right here. There's some weeks in January that don't even look like this. We're going to have quite a bit of snow. Most of this is reserved for those higher elevations, but still really impressive snowfall map for October as we go through the next couple of weeks. For those of you who are new here, I'm a big weather nerd, right? I love all weather. I love forecasting it, tracking it. My favorite is snow, and sometimes I get a little annoying about it. If you don't like snow, you might not like hearing me talk about it. All right, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. This is after our cold snap moves out from the east. We are going to be a little bit above average, especially up here in the Great Lakes as that ridge is forming up that we were talking about. And then as far as precipitation goes, we're going to be below average in the east, a little bit above average in the central U.S., and quite a bit above average up there in the Pacific Northwest. Most of that is associated with the same moisture that's bringing all that snow up there into the BC. Hey, make sure you go over to the Y'all Squad on YouTube today or tomorrow or something. We are going to release a new video talking about the Columbia, Tennessee tornado and our relief efforts down there. And we have a lot more videos to show you as well. This is our method of making sure that we can show you what's happening with your donations. We do a lot on Twitter, but we really try to put together these really good videos to showcase what we're doing over here on the Y'all Squad channel. Every dime that this channel generates, obviously all that money is going to go right back into the nonprofit. So make sure you share it with other people. And eventually we're going to have videos on here about Helene and Milton as well. It takes us a little while because sometimes it takes a while to finish our relief efforts. So go subscribe to that. And yeah, thank you all so much for giving us the opportunity to do this stuff. And I'm sorry about my voice. It's definitely sounding better right now than it was during the live stream, but I'm just now getting over the sickness, whatever that was that took me out at the end of the Milton live stream, and we're about to be back on the road with no problems here soon, hopefully. I appreciate y'all so much. Drop a like on the video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.